Hello there, and welcome to the Sleepy Nature channel. Tonight, you don't need to travel anywhere at all. You only need to rest, settle into a comfortable position. Let your shoulders fall. Let your breathing slow, soft, and unforced, like air moving through open space. Imagine that outside, the world has begun to change. Clouds have gathered gently, without urgency. The sky has dimmed, not with darkness, but with calm. Tonight, you are inside a rainstorm, not a loud one, not a storm of wind or fear, just a long, steady rain that lasts through the night. The first drops arrive quietly, so light that they barely make a sound. They touch the ground like soft fingertips, testing the earth. Rain almost always begins this way, not as a downpour, but as a question. A few drops falling from a cloud that has grown heavy enough to let go. High above you, warm air has slowly risen during the day. As it cooled, invisible water vapor gathered into tiny droplets. When those droplets grew too heavy to stay suspended, gravity gently invited them down. You don't see this process happening, but your body seems to understand it instinctively. Rain feels familiar, ancient, expected. Another drop falls, then another. The spaces between them slowly fill. Rain does not rush. It arrives at the speed the earth allows. As the sound builds, you notice how the world responds. Dust on the ground darkens. Stone deepens in color. Leaves soften their edges. The smell of rain begins to rise. That clean, earthy scent that seems to clear the air inside your chest. This scent has a name. It comes from tiny compounds released by soil when it becomes wet for the first time after dryness. Your brain associates it with relief, with renewal, with safety. Long ago, this smell meant water was available, that life could continue. Your nervous system still remembers. The rain grows steadier now, a gentle, even rhythm, not sharp, not loud. Raindrops do not fall straight down. They wobble slightly as they descend, shaped by air resistance. Each one takes its own small, drifting path to the ground. You imagine them landing on different surfaces. Some touch leaves and roll slowly along their veins. Some strike soil and disappear instantly. Others tap against wood, stone, or glass, creating soft, hollow tones. This is why rain never sounds the same twice. Each surface translates it differently. The world becomes an instrument. As the rain settles in, the temperature begins to change. Rain cools the air by absorbing heat as it falls. That cooling is subtle, but your body notices. Muscles loosen. Breathing deepens. The urge to move fades. Animals notice the rain too. Many creatures become quieter during steady rainfall. Predators pause. Birds shelter. The world collectively slows. Insects retreat into leaves and soil. Earthworms rise closer to the surface, drawn by moisture and vibration. The ground itself becomes more alive beneath the rain. Rain is one of the few natural sounds with no sharp edges. Its randomness creates a pattern that the brain doesn't need to analyze. That's why it feels soothing. Your mind doesn't try to follow each drop. It simply floats on the sound. As rain continues, it begins to clean the air. Dust particles fall. Pollen settles. The atmosphere becomes lighter, easier to breathe. This is why air feels fresher during rainfall. Why windows left slightly open invite calm indoors. You imagine yourself safe and dry, listening from within. Perhaps under a roof. Perhaps beneath a tree canopy, thick enough to soften every drop. Rain rarely falls straight through a forest. Leaves intercept it, breaking each drop into many smaller ones. By the time it reaches the ground, it has already slowed. This creates a layered soundscape. Rain on leaves, rain on branches, rain on soil. The forest floor receives water gently, allowing it to sink in rather than rush away. Roots absorb what they need. Moss swells quietly. Fungi awaken. Rain is not wasteful. It is precise. As the night deepens, the rain continues without effort. No thunder, no urgency, just persistence. Your body begins to match that rhythm. Heart rate slows. Thoughts stretch out and lose their sharp corners. Rain encourages introspection without demanding it. You don't need to think. You don't need to solve anything. The sound gives your mind permission to rest. Some cultures believe rain carries memory. That water falling today once touched ancient oceans, distant mountains, forgotten forests. Every drop has traveled a long way to arrive here. You don't need to believe this to feel its weight. Rain feels old, older than worry. As you listen, time becomes less important. Rain does not measure itself in minutes, only in presence. The night settles fully now. The rain is steady, constant, dependable, and you are inside it, protected, held. Nothing is expected of you. The rain will continue, and you can continue to rest. The rain does not stop when night arrives. It simply changes its tone. The world grows darker, and the sound becomes more noticeable, not louder, just closer, as if the rain has leaned in. Outside, lights blur gently through wet air. Edges soften, straight lines dissolve. Rain has a way of smoothing the world. It removes contrast. Nothing feels sharp enough to demand your attention. Your breathing follows this softness. In, out, unhurried. Raindrops fall at slightly different speeds now. Some drift lazily, slowed by air and warmth. Others fall faster, heavier with gathered moisture. Each drop is shaped by gravity, but also by air. That's why rain feels alive rather than mechanical. It responds to invisible currents, tiny shifts in pressure. As rain continues, surfaces cool. Stone releases the warmth it held from the day. Metal loses its heat quickly. Wood cools slowly, holding warmth longer. Your body recognizes this cooling instinctively. Cool air signals rest, signals night. This is why rain at night feels different than rain during the day. It invites stillness rather than movement. Somewhere nearby, water begins to collect. Tiny streams form along grooves in the ground. They find the easiest path downward, guided by shape rather than intention. Water never argues with terrain. It listens, then moves. Rainfall reconnects hidden pathways in the landscape, channels that exist only when water is present, temporary rivers that vanish by morning. This impermanence is part of rain's comfort. It arrives, does its work, and leaves quietly. Your mind begins to mirror this behavior. Thoughts come, then pass, without clinging. Rain reduces the distance sound can travel. Wet air absorbs vibrations more efficiently than dry air. That's why the world feels closer, more contained. Distant noises fade. Only nearby sounds remain. The rain creates a private space around you, a small bubble of sound and shadow. Inside this space, your nervous system relaxes. There is nothing approaching, nothing unexpected. Rainfall patterns are naturally irregular. No repeating loops, no predictable rhythm to follow. This randomness keeps the brain gently engaged without effort. It prevents boredom without requiring focus, a perfect balance for rest. You notice how rain changes smell over time. At first it smells fresh and sharp. Later, deeper, earthier. As soil absorbs water, microbes awaken. They release subtle compounds into the air. These scents signal abundance, growth, safety. Your body responds before your thoughts do. Muscles soften, jaw loosens, shoulders sink. In the rain, even silence sounds fuller. Pauses between drops feel intentional. Breathing space inside sound. Raindrops that strike leaves often roll rather than fall straight off. They travel along leaf edges, gathering other drops. Eventually, they release in slower, heavier drips. This delayed movement creates layers of sound. Immediate impact. Then, lingering release. The rain teaches patience without instruction. Some animals use rain as cover. Small mammals move more freely under its sound, their footsteps hidden. Others wait, still and listening. The natural world knows how to pause without anxiety. Rain reminds it when to do so. Your eyelids feel heavier now, not forced, just ready. Rainfall slightly increases the negative ions in the air. These particles are associated with calm and improved mood. Though subtle, their effect is real. You don't need to notice this consciously. Your body already has. As water continues to fall, it presses gently against surfaces. Over time, it reshapes them, not through force, but persistence. Stone smooths, soil rearranges, paths slowly change. Rain never rushes transformation. It trusts time. You begin to feel time stretch. Minutes feel wider. Moments feel longer. This is not boredom. It is spaciousness. Your thoughts slow enough to drift. They no longer line up neatly. They soften at the edges. Rain does not care what you were doing earlier. It does not anticipate tomorrow. It exists fully in now. You can do the same. Outside, the rain continues its quiet work. Inside, your body rests deeper. The night holds steady. The rain holds steady. And you are allowed to let go. By now, the rain feels like it has always been there. Not something that started, but something that simply exists. The night has grown quieter in every other way. Human sounds have faded. Movement has slowed. What remains is rain, patient, consistent, unchanging. Raindrops fall in countless variations. Some land softly and disappear. Others linger, sliding slowly before letting go. This variety is what makes rain comforting. There is no single rhythm to follow, no expectation to keep up. Your mind doesn't chase the sound. It floats inside it. As rain continues, the ground reaches saturation. Soil particles settle into new positions. Air pockets fill gently with water. This process happens silently, yet it changes everything beneath the surface. Roots sense moisture and respond immediately. Tiny root hairs absorb water molecule by molecule. Trees drink without movement, without sound. Rain is nourishment delivered quietly. As the earth drinks, the air above grows cooler and denser. Cool air sinks. Warm air rises. This natural circulation creates a subtle stillness near the ground, a calm pocket where movement slows. You feel something similar inside your body, a settling, a grounding. Your heartbeat is steady now, unhurried, reliable. Rain has a way of synchronizing internal rhythms. Breathing slows, thoughts space out. Somewhere nearby, water has found a shallow dip. A puddle forms. Its surface trembles with each drop. Raindrops hitting water sound different than those hitting soil. Softer, rounder. These sounds blur into one another, no beginning, no end. The rain creates a sense of enclosure, as if the world has drawn curtains around you, protecting you from anything beyond this moment. Night rain reduces visibility. Even familiar shapes fade into shadow. This absence of detail relaxes the visual system. Your eyes no longer scan for information. They rest. Rain also dampens echoes. Sound doesn't travel far. Everything feels closer, safer. Your body recognizes this as shelter. In many natural environments, Rain signals safety from predators. Scent trails wash away. Movement is masked. Evolution remembers this. Your nervous system responds accordingly. Muscles soften further. Hands loosen. Your jaw releases its last tension. You don't need to think about sleep. Sleep is already approaching. Rainfall encourages a state called passive attention. Awareness without effort. Presence without focus. This is the space where rest happens naturally. As rain continues, the world feels heavier, not in weight, but in depth. Sound sinks into itself. Time thickens. Minutes feel less defined. They blend. Your thoughts may drift now. Images without narrative. Memories without urgency. Rain allows this drifting. It does not pull you back. Water continues to move across surfaces, along grooves, into cracks. Even the hardest materials yield over time, not through force, but through gentleness repeated. This is how rain changes landscapes, and how rest changes the mind. You don't need to hold anything together anymore. The rain holds the night. Somewhere far above, clouds remain full. They release water at a pace the earth can accept. Nothing overwhelms. This balance is ancient, reliable. You are safe inside it. Your breathing is deep now, effortless, almost automatic. Rainfall does not demand awareness, it supports it quietly. If thoughts arise, they pass easily. If none arise, that's fine too. The rain does not judge stillness. Outside, water continues its slow descent. Inside, you descend as well, gently, naturally. The night stretches on, unhurried. The rain remains constant. And you drift deeper into rest. At some point, the rain stops feeling like sound. It becomes atmosphere. It fills the space so completely that nothing else needs to enter. The night feels sealed, wrapped, held together by water and darkness. Rain continues without variation now, not louder, not softer, just present. This constancy allows your mind to let go even further. There is nothing new to monitor, nothing that requires response. Your body understands this kind of environment. It has known it for thousands of years. Long nights sheltered while rain fell outside. In these conditions, vigilance fades. Rest takes over. Rain presses gently against the ground, against roofs, against leaves. Each drop transfers a tiny bit of energy, enough to be felt, never enough to disturb. Water carries warmth away, slowly, cooling the world evenly, preventing sudden changes. This is why rain feels regulating rather than shocking. Your skin senses the air around you, cooler now, more humid. Humidity softens breathing. Air feels smoother as it moves in and out, less effort required. You may notice your breath becoming quieter, shallower in sound, deeper in effect. Rain changes how light behaves at night. Streetlights glow softly, reflections blur, sharp contrasts disappear. The visual world becomes forgiving. This is a gift to tired eyes. Inside, your thoughts begin to lose structure. Sentences dissolve into impressions. Logic gives way to sensation. This is not losing control, it is releasing it. Rainfall creates a kind of white noise, but richer, layered, textured. The brain stops searching for meaning in sound. It rests inside it instead. This is one reason rain is used to help people sleep. It fills auditory space completely, leaving no gaps for intrusive thoughts. Your mind floats. Somewhere nearby, water drips from an edge repeatedly, a slower rhythm beneath the rain, not distinct enough to count. These secondary sounds anchor the moment. They remind the brain that everything is functioning normally. Nothing is wrong. The rain has soaked into the earth now. Excess water moves downward, filtered through layers of soil. Cleansed, as it goes. This slow filtration mirrors rest, processing without awareness, healing without effort. You don't need to follow this. Your body already knows how to do it. As night deepens, temperature stabilizes. The air no longer changes much. Everything settles into equilibrium. This is the point where sleep often arrives, not suddenly, but quietly. Rain does not mark time. There is no countdown, no pressure, just continuity. If your thoughts drift toward memory, they remain soft, no sharp edges, no emotional pull. Rain seems to cushion everything it touches, including the mind. Your muscles feel heavier now, not tense, just relaxed. Limbs sink into stillness. Movement becomes unnecessary. Rainfall often masks small disturbances. Tiny sounds that would normally wake attention simply disappear into it. This allows deeper rest, longer pauses between breaths. The world feels far away now, not absent, just irrelevant. Rain does not isolate. It separates gently. You are still connected to everything, just not required to engage. Your eyelids may flutter slightly. Dreaming edges appear. Rain continues, unconcerned with outcome. It will keep falling whether you are awake or asleep. You do not need to stay with it. You can rest. The night is stable. The rain is stable. And nothing else is needed. The rain is no longer something you listen to. It is something you are inside. Its rhythm has blended with your breathing. Its weight has settled into your body. There is no clear line between being awake and being asleep now. Only drifting. Rain continues to fall with quiet patience, each drop arriving without announcement, each one leaving no trace of effort. Your thoughts move more slowly. Images appear without explanation. They dissolve just as gently. This is the space where dreams begin to form, not stories yet, just feelings and shapes. Rain supports this transition. It gives the mind permission to wander without direction. Your body temperature is steady now. Rain outside keeps the air from changing suddenly. Inside, warmth remains consistent. Consistency is comfort. Water moves across surfaces endlessly, down slopes, along edges. This continuous movement signals safety. Nothing is stuck. Nothing is frozen. Your nervous system responds by releasing deeper layers of tension. Muscles you didn't know were holding tightenings finally let go. Jaw soft, hands open, tongue resting. Rain is one of the few sounds that humans associate with shelter rather than exposure. Rain means being inside, being protected. Your body remembers this. The world beyond your resting place feels distant now, muted, unimportant. Even thoughts about tomorrow seem far away. They cannot cross the curtain of rain. Raindrops striking different surfaces blend into a single presence. No need to separate them. No need to analyze. Your brain's language centers slow down. Words lose importance. Sensation takes over. This is the natural path towards sleep. Rainfall also regulates circadian rhythm, the dimness, the sound, the cooling air, all signals of night. Your body responds by increasing sleep hormones. You don't feel this happening, you simply drift. The rain does not change pace. It does not surprise you. It remains faithful. This reliability allows the mind to release vigilance entirely. You may feel moments of falling, not downward, but inward, sinking into softness. Rain supports this sensation, like a weighted blanket made of sound. Your breathing is slow now, barely noticeable, effortless. Pauses between breaths lengthen, each pause safe. If a thought appears, it floats briefly, then dissolves. Rain does not let it stay long. Dream fragments may appear, not images yet, more like impressions, textures, motion. Rain often appears in dreams as calm movement. as water without urgency, as background. You don't need to follow these dreams. They will form on their own. Outside, rain continues its ancient task. Inside, your mind does the same. Everything moves toward rest. The night remains deep and quiet. The rain remains steady, and you continue to drift. By now, the rain feels distant and close at the same time. You no longer locate it outside yourself. It seems to move through you. Sound has softened into texture. Rhythm has slowed into sensation. Awareness drifts without edges. Your body is deeply still, not rigid, just resting exactly as it is meant to. Rain continues without variation. And because nothing changes, nothing needs attention. This is how sleep begins naturally, not by shutting down, but by letting go. Your breathing is steady and automatic now. You do not guide it. You simply allow it. Each breath rises and falls like a small wave, mirroring the rain's quiet persistence. Muscles release in layers, the surface ones first, then deeper ones beneath. Even the muscles around the eyes soften. The forehead smooths. The space behind the eyes grows dark and calm. Rain encourages this darkness. It dims the mind gently, never abruptly. Your thoughts have lost their structure. They no longer form sentences, only fragments. These fragments drift like mist. They don't attach to anything. They pass freely. This is the borderland, the place where waking fades and dreaming begins. Rain becomes background energy now, like a steady hum beneath consciousness, always present, never demanding. The brain shifts into slower rhythms. Memory loosens. Time dissolves. Moments stretch without shape. There is no need to know how long you have been here. Rain has erased urgency. Somewhere far away, the world continues as usual, but it cannot reach you here. Not through the rain, not through the night. You are protected inside this sound, held inside this softness. Dreams may begin to form now, not stories, atmospheres, motion without destination. You might feel as if you're floating, or sinking, or simply resting in place. All of these are signs of sleep arriving. Rain does not follow you into dreams. It becomes them. Water becomes movement. Sound becomes sensation. Awareness becomes rest. There is nothing to do, nothing to follow, nothing to hold. The rain will continue whether you notice it or not. It does not need your attention. You can let go completely now. The night is stable. The rain is steady. Your body knows exactly what to do. Sleep comes quietly, and you drift into it. The rain has been falling for so long now that it feels timeless. Not something that began, and not something that will end. Just a condition of the night. You're no longer listening for it. You're resting inside it. Each drop arrives without urgency, without intention. Water falling simply because it can no longer remain suspended. Gravity doing its quiet work. Rain never hesitates. It doesn't decide. It responds. That simplicity spreads into your body. Your breathing has settled into a rhythm you didn't choose. In, out, a gentle wave that lifts and lowers without effort. Between breaths, there is space, comfortable space. Nothing waiting there. Rain fills the world evenly. There are no empty corners left for sharp thoughts to hide in. No silence that feels expectant. The sound wraps around everything, soft on one surface, deeper on another, absorbed and reshaped again and again. Raindrops strike leaves and flatten into tiny mirrors. Some cling there for a moment, gathering weight. Then they release, dropping slowly to the ground below. This delayed falling stretches time. Nothing happens all at once. Everything arrives gently. The ground beneath the rain has changed completely now. Dryness is gone. The earth has softened. Soil particles shift and settle into a new balance. Air pockets fill. Roots expand slightly, welcoming the moisture. Trees respond immediately, even though you cannot see it. Water moves upward through their trunks in silent columns, feeding leaves even in the dark. Rain allows growth without spectacle. No sudden movement, no announcement. Your body responds the same way. Repair happens quietly. Muscles restore themselves without your awareness. Rain creates a sense of enclosure, not confinement, but protection, as if the world has narrowed itself intentionally to keep you safe. Outside, distances feel shorter. Sound doesn't travel far in wet air. The night feels contained, held close. This containment signals safety to the nervous system. It tells ancient parts of your brain that nothing is approaching. Nothing needs monitoring. Vigilance fades. Your thoughts no longer line up into plans or concerns. They appear as loose impressions, then dissolve before taking shape. Rain teaches the mind how to let go by example. Each drop releases completely, then disappears. Water never tries to stay a drop. Somewhere nearby, a slow drip repeats itself. Not loud enough to count, not regular enough to follow, just present. These small variations reassure the brain. They confirm that the world is functioning normally, that systems are working, nothing is broken. Humidity in the air softens every sensation. Skin feels less dry. Breathing feels smoother. Your chest rises and falls without effort. There is no tightness, no need to adjust. Rain has cooled the environment evenly now. There are no sudden changes in temperature, no sharp contrasts. Consistency deepens rest. Time feels less linear here. Moments do not follow one another. They overlap. You may not know how long you've been listening to the rain, and that no longer matters. Rain does not measure itself. It exists. Your body exists with it. As sleep deepens, awareness loosens its grip. You don't disappear. You simply soften. Dreams do not arrive as stories yet. They come as motion, as feeling, water, moving, weightlessness, gentle descent. Rain often shapes dreams this way, not dramatic, not vivid, just flowing. Your muscles are fully at rest now, even the small ones, even the ones that usually hold tension unconsciously. The face is relaxed. The tongue rests easily. The eyes are heavy behind closed lids. Rain does not ask anything of you. It does not require attention. It does not need acknowledgement. It will continue whether you are awake or asleep. You are free to drift. The night remains deep. The rain remains steady. And rest holds you completely. The rain has settled into its deepest state. Not changing, not fading, just continuing. It feels as though the night itself is breathing through the rain, each breath slow, each breath steady. You're no longer aware of where your body begins or ends, only of weight, of warmth, of stillness. Rain creates this effect naturally. By filling every space evenly, it removes contrast. Without contrast, the mind rests. Raindrops fall endlessly, yet never feel repetitive. Each one arrives with tiny differences. A softer landing, a slightly slower descent. This subtle variation keeps awareness gently occupied, without effort. Nothing to focus on, nothing to resist. The ground has fully accepted the rain now. Water no longer rushes across the surface. It sinks downward instead. Slow movement downward, gravity without force. This downward motion is mirrored inside you, a feeling of sinking, not falling, settling. Your body settles deeper into rest, into support. into stillness. Rain has erased the edges of the world. Distances blur, shapes soften. Even familiar outlines feel less defined. This lack of clarity is soothing. The brain no longer scans for detail. In darkness and rain, vision steps aside. Other senses take over quietly. Hearing becomes wide and unfocused. Touch becomes muted and calm. Time becomes irrelevant. Rainfall masks sudden changes. Nothing arrives abruptly. Everything is cushioned. This allows the nervous system to enter its most restful state, the one meant for deep sleep, for restoration. Your heartbeat is slow and even now, not something you notice, just something that happens. Blood moves steadily through relaxed vessels. Muscles receive oxygen easily. Repair continues without awareness. Rain supports this by creating constancy. No surprises, no signals of danger. In nature, steady rain often means predators rest. Hunting becomes inefficient. Movement slows. Your body remembers this ancient pattern. It responds by letting go completely. Thoughts, if they appear at all, are faint, half-formed. They do not connect to emotion. They drift like reflections on water, brief, unimportant. Dreams may begin to deepen here, not stories yet, more like environments, spaces without events, a sense of floating, of being carried. Rain often becomes the texture of these dreams, soft movement, continuous flow. You do not need to follow these sensations. They form on their own. Your breathing is now so natural it feels absent. Inhale happens. Exhale follows. Between them, there is complete ease. Rain continues to fall at the same pace. Clouds release water patiently. Nothing is rushed. This patience spreads everywhere. Into the soil, into the air, into you. There is no past here, no future, only this moment, stretched wide and calm. You are safe inside the sound, safe inside the night, safe inside rest. The rain does not need you to stay awake. It does not need witnesses. You can sink fully now, as deeply as you like. The night holds, the rain holds, and you rest. The rain continues without interruption. No change in pace, no shift in tone. It has become the background of everything, so constant that it feels like silence itself. You are resting now in the deepest part of the night, a place where awareness is thin, where attention no longer reaches outward. Rain moves across the world in endless cycles, drop after drop, release after release. Nothing holds on. Your body is completely still, not stiff, not heavy, simply at rest. The weight of you is fully supported. There is nothing to adjust, nothing to fix. Rain has removed the need for effort. Your breathing continues on its own, slow, unforced. In the pauses between breaths, there is a sense of openness, a quiet space with no edges. Thoughts rarely appear here, and when they do, they dissolve immediately, like ink in water. The brain has shifted into its slowest rhythms. Time stretches beyond counting. Moments overlap. Rain does not mark time. It erases it. Sound is no longer something you hear. It is something you float inside. Raindrops blend into one continuous presence. No beginning, no end. This constancy allows the mind to fully disengage. There is nothing to track, nothing to anticipate. Sleep deepens naturally. Your muscles are completely relaxed now, even the ones that often remain tense without notice. They have released. Your face is soft. Your jaw hangs loosely. Your brow is smooth. Rain supports this release by offering steadiness. No threat, no change. Outside, the world has slowed to a near stop. Movement exists, but gently, without urgency. Water continues to sink into the earth, filtered, absorbed. This slow downward motion mirrors the way awareness sinks deeper into sleep. Dreams now take shape quietly, not as stories, but as sensations, a sense of being held, of drifting. Rain becomes texture rather than sound, movement rather than noise. You may feel as though you are floating on warm water or resting beneath a soft canopy. These sensations do not need explanation. They are simply part of rest. The boundary between you and the rain is gone. There is no separation, only calm. If awareness flickers briefly, it fades again easily. The rain draws it back inward. Nothing pulls you outward now. The night is stable. The rain is steady. Everything is exactly as it should be. Rest continues. The rain has not changed, and because it has not changed, nothing else needs to. You are resting in a place where time no longer matters, where moments do not stack or pass. They simply exist. Rain continues its quiet descent, drop after drop, each one letting go completely. There is no effort in this motion, only release. Your body mirrors this ease. There is no tension left to notice, no impulse to move. Everything that could soften has softened. Breathing continues at its own pace, not guided, not controlled. Air moves in and out gently, smoothly, without sound. The spaces between breaths feel wide and safe. Nothing fills them. Nothing needs to. Rain fills the outside world so completely that there is no room for interruption. No sudden noise can reach you. No unexpected signal can break through. This is why rain is so deeply associated with rest. It protects by masking. It comforts by consistency. The mind has fully stepped back now. Thoughts no longer form patterns. They barely form at all. If awareness appears, it floats briefly, then sinks again, like a leaf touching water, then drifting below the surface. Dreaming may be present here, but it is not vivid, not sharp. Dreams are gentle movements, slow shifts, a feeling of being carried. Rain often becomes part of these dreams, not as weather, but as motion, a sense of flow, of continuous movement without direction. There is no destination, no need to arrive. The night remains steady. Darkness holds everything evenly. Rain continues to fall at the same pace. Clouds release water patiently. The earth receives it fully. Nothing resists. Your body rests in perfect alignment with this rhythm. Heart slow, muscles loose. Even the smallest muscles, around the eyes, at the base of the skull, along the spine, have released. You are supported completely by the surface beneath you, by the sound around you. There is nothing to monitor, nothing to protect against. The ancient parts of your brain recognize this state. They know it means safety. They allow sleep to deepen further. Rain does not announce itself anymore. It simply exists. And because it exists, you can rest. Time dissolves into a soft blur. Minutes stretch. Hours lose meaning. You do not need to know where you are in the night. You do not need to know what comes next. The rain will continue. Sleep will continue. Everything is steady. Everything is calm. And you remain at rest. The rain remains exactly as it has been. No increase, no fading. Its steadiness has become part of the night itself, indistinguishable from darkness, indistinguishable from rest. You are deeply settled now, so settled that awareness barely reaches the surface. The sound of rain no longer arrives as individual drops. It exists as a single, continuous presence, like a soft veil over everything. Your body is completely at ease, every point of contact supported, every muscle released. Breathing happens quietly, naturally, without pause or effort. The rise and fall of your chest is slow and smooth. each breath deeper than the last, each exhale longer. Between breaths, nothing happens, and that nothing is comfortable. Rain continues its endless descent. Clouds empty themselves patiently. The world below receives. Nothing hurries, nothing waits. This patience seeps into your nervous system. It signals that all is well, that vigilance is unnecessary. Your mind has let go of structure, no plans, no questions. If a thought appears, it carries no meaning. It drifts away before it can attach. Dreaming deepens here, but dreams are not scenes. They are sensations, a feeling of weightlessness, of being held in warm darkness, of drifting slowly. Rain becomes movement rather than sound, flow without direction. The boundary between waking and sleep is completely gone. There is no transition to notice, no moment to mark. You are simply resting. Outside, rain continues to shape the world quietly, washing surfaces, feeding soil. Inside, rest shapes you the same way, slowly, gently. Muscles restore, nerves calm. Energy returns without effort. The night holds steady, the rain holds steady. There is no need to change position, no signal to respond to. Your body knows how to remain still when it is safe. And it is safe now. Time is no longer something you track. It has become soft, flexible. Rain does not mark hours, it simply continues. You continue resting within it. Nothing is required of you, nothing is expected. The rain falls, sleep deepens, and everything remains calm. The rain has become distant now, not quieter, just farther away, as if you are listening to it from deep inside rest. It no longer feels like something happening around you. It feels like something happening everywhere at once. A constant, gentle presence. Your body is fully surrendered to stillness. There is no urge to move, no signal to adjust. Every part of you is supported exactly as it needs to be. Nothing presses, nothing pulls. Breathing continues quietly, soft and slow, almost imperceptible. Each breath blends into the next. There are no clear beginnings or endings, just a smooth, continuous flow. Rain mirrors this perfectly. It does not start or stop. It simply continues. The mind has gone very quiet now, not empty, just calm, like a lake with no wind. If awareness flickers briefly, it does not last. It fades again into rest, effortlessly. Dreams move slowly here, without images, without stories. They are sensations drifting through darkness, a sense of warmth, a sense of being carried. Rain becomes the texture of these dreams, soft motion, gentle rhythm. The night feels long and generous. There is plenty of time, more than enough. Nothing is waiting for you, nothing needs your attention. Outside, rain continues to fall on leaves, on ground, on stone. Inside, rest continues to move through you the same way, quietly, patiently. The nervous system is fully relaxed. Signals of alertness have faded completely. Only calm remains. Your heartbeat is slow and steady, not something you notice, just something that happens. Muscles remain loose and heavy, completely at ease. Even the deepest layers of tension have softened now. Places that often stay tight without awareness have released. The body has permission to rest fully. Rain supports this state by remaining predictable. No surprises, no changes. This predictability is deeply comforting. It tells the brain that nothing new is coming, that it is safe to stay asleep. Time feels wide and stretched. Moments blend together. There is no sense of progress. Rain does not move forward, it simply exists, and you exist with it. The night continues to hold everything gently. Darkness remains soft. Sound remains even. There is no need to wake. No need to listen. You can rest here as long as you like. The rain will continue. Sleep will continue. Everything is calm. The rain continues, unchanged, so steady it feels eternal, so constant it feels like silence. You are deeply asleep now. Awareness drifts far below the surface. Nothing reaches you fully. The sound of rain no longer registers as sound. It exists as a soft, surrounding presence. A gentle field, you rest inside. Your body remains completely still, perfectly supported, fully relaxed. Breathing is slow and smooth, each breath blending into the next. No effort anywhere. There is no thought, no image, no story, only sensation, faint and calm. Rain becomes movement without direction, flow without beginning or end. Dreams here are not experiences, they are states, a feeling of being held. Time has lost its meaning entirely. There is no before or after, only now. Rain does not mark time, it erases it. Outside, water continues to fall patiently. Inside, rest continues the same way. The body repairs itself quietly. Energy restores. Balance returns. This happens without awareness, without instruction. Rain supports this by remaining constant, predictable, safe. There are no signals to wake, no interruptions, nothing sharp. The night is deep and stable. Darkness is complete. You remain in this calm without effort, without thought. If awareness flickers, it fades again immediately. The rain carries it away. Nothing is required, nothing is expected. The rain falls, sleep continues, and everything remains exactly as it is. The rain is still falling. It has been falling for so long that it no longer feels like weather. It feels like a condition of existence. There is no beginning to notice, no end to anticipate. Only the gentle continuation of water meeting the world. You are deeply asleep now, so deeply that awareness moves like a distant echo, barely touching the surface before sinking again. The sound of rain does not arrive in pieces anymore. It arrives as a whole, a single, continuous softness that fills every space. Your body rests without instruction. It knows exactly how to remain still. It knows exactly how to repair itself. Breathing happens quietly and naturally. So slow it almost disappears. So smooth it feels effortless. Each inhale blends into the next exhale. There are no pauses that feel empty, only pauses that feel full. The rain supports this rhythm. It does not hurry you. It does not pull you forward. It stays exactly where it is. Outside, water continues to move downward, through leaves, along bark, into soil. Nothing resists. The ground has accepted the rain completely now. No runoff, no movement across the surface. Everything sinks, everything settles. This sinking is mirrored inside you, a deep settling into rest, into safety. Your muscles are loose and heavy, not weighted, supported. The face is soft, the mouth relaxed, the eyes resting comfortably behind closed lids. Even the smallest muscles, those around the eyes, those at the base of the neck, those along the spine, have let go. Rain encourages this kind of release. It tells the nervous system that vigilance is unnecessary, that nothing is approaching. In nature, long, steady rain often means stillness. Movement becomes inefficient. Predators pause. Prey shelters. Your body remembers this ancient signal. It responds by deepening sleep. Thoughts no longer form. There are no words here, no images to follow. Dreams exist only as sensations. Warmth, drift, gentle motion. Rain becomes part of these sensations, not as sound, but as texture, a feeling of being surrounded, of being held inside something continuous and calm. Time has fully dissolved. There is no sense of night passing, no awareness of hours. Rain does not divide time into pieces. It smooths it into one long moment. You are resting inside that moment. The air remains cool and humid, comfortable, even. There are no sudden changes in temperature, no shifts that would call attention. Consistency allows sleep to deepen further, without effort, without awareness. The heart continues its slow, steady rhythm, unremarkable, reliable. Blood moves easily through relaxed vessels. Oxygen reaches every cell without resistance. This is the state the body prefers, the state where healing happens quietly, where balance returns on its own. Rain outside continues its work, cleaning surfaces, feeding roots. Inside, rest does the same. Nothing is forced, nothing is rushed. If awareness briefly rises, it does not disturb anything. It drifts back down immediately, carried by the same softness. There is no edge to this state, no border between you and the rain, only calm continuity. The night feels endless in the best way, spacious, generous. There is room for rest to deepen even more, and it does. Rain does not announce itself anymore. It simply exists. And because it exists, you can remain asleep. The world outside is quiet and stable. The world inside is quiet and stable. Everything aligns. Everything rests. The rain falls. Sleep holds. And nothing else is needed. The rain is still here. It has never left. It does not feel like something happening anymore. It feels like the natural state of the night, like gravity, like darkness. You are far beyond listening now, far beyond noticing. Awareness exists only as a faint glow beneath the surface of sleep, and even that glow is dimming. The rain continues its endless descent, not falling fast, not falling slow, simply falling. There is no variation to track, no difference to observe, nothing that needs attention. Your body is completely still, not frozen, not heavy, just resting exactly as it should. Every part of you is supported. The surface beneath you holds your weight evenly. There are no pressure points, no discomfort. Breathing moves quietly through you, so subtle it feels like the world itself is breathing instead. In, out. Each breath arrives without effort. Each breath leaves without resistance. Between breaths, there is a deep, comfortable nothing, not emptiness, peace. The rain fills the outside world so completely that it becomes impossible for anything else to reach you. No sharp sound, no sudden movement, no interruption. This is why rain is trusted, why it feels safe, why the mind lets go beneath it. In ancient nights, rain meant shelter. It meant staying close. It meant rest. Your body remembers this. Your nervous system responds as it always has. Muscles remain loose and quiet. Even the deepest layers of tension, the kind you don't notice during the day, have released. The face is soft. The jaw hangs slightly open. The tongue rests easily. The eyes are still behind closed lids. No flicker, no strain. The brain has slowed into its deepest rhythms. Thought is no longer present. Memory is distant. Time does not exist here, not as minutes, not as hours. Rain does not move time forward. It smooths it into a single, continuous moment. You are inside that moment now. Dreams no longer form shapes or scenes. They are not stories. They are states. A sense of being held. A sense of drifting gently without direction. A sense of warmth inside darkness. Rain has become part of this state, not as sound, not as water, as movement without edges. The boundary between you and the night is completely gone. There is no separation, no inside and outside, only rest. Outside, rain continues to meet the world patiently, drop after drop, release after release. Inside, your body does the same, letting go, settling deeper. Every system has slowed to its natural resting pace. Heart steady, breathing slow, nervous system quiet. This is the state where restoration happens fully, where nothing needs to be directed, where balance returns on its own. Rain does not supervise this process. It simply allows it. The night feels endless and safe. There is no edge to fall off. No morning approaching yet, just darkness, just rain, just stillness. If awareness flickers for a moment, it fades again immediately, carried back down by softness, by sound, by calm. Nothing pulls you upward. Nothing calls your name. You are not required to wake, not required to notice, not required to think. The rain will continue whether you are aware of it or not. It does not need witnesses. Sleep holds you fully now, deep, stable, unbroken. The night is quiet. The rain is steady. Everything rests, and you remain exactly where you are, safe, warm, and completely at ease. The rain continues without pause. So steady, it no longer feels like movement. So constant, it feels like stillness itself. Nothing announces the passage of time here. There is no signal that one moment has ended and another has begun. Everything blends. You are resting far beneath the surface of awareness now, not drifting, not floating, simply being. The rain exists everywhere at once, not outside, not inside, just present. Your body remains exactly as it needs to be, completely supported, perfectly still. There is no urge to turn, no impulse to adjust, no tension asking for release. Everything that could soften has already softened. Breathing happens quietly, deep within the body, so subtle it barely registers, so natural it feels like it belongs to the night itself. Each inhale arrives gently, each exhale fades away just as gently. Between them, there is calm, wide, unbroken calm. Rain fills the atmosphere evenly. There are no gaps where sudden sound could enter, no silence sharp enough to awaken thought. This is why the mind remains at rest. There is nothing for it to do. Thought has fully dissolved. There are no words here, no images, only sensation, faint, distant, comforting. Rain has become texture, like a soft current beneath consciousness, always moving, never disturbing. Dreaming exists here, but without form, not scenes, not memories, only gentle motion, a feeling of being carried. The body responds by deepening rest even further. Muscles remain loose, nerves quiet. The heart continues its slow, reliable rhythm, unnoticed, unremarkable. Blood flows easily. Oxygen reaches every cell. Repair continues quietly. This is the state the body seeks each night, and now it has reached it. Outside, rain continues its ancient cycle. Water meets earth. Earth receives. Nothing resists. Inside, the same surrender happens. No effort, no resistance. Time has no meaning here, not even a soft one. Rain does not mark time. It erases it. You remain held inside this endless moment, safe, warm, completely at rest. Nothing changes, nothing needs to. The rain is still falling, as it always has, as it always will. There is no awareness of duration now, only continuity. You are resting in the deepest possible quiet, not silence, presence, a fullness without detail. The sound of rain is no longer something perceived. It is simply part of the environment your body rests within, like gravity, like darkness. Your body does not move. It does not need to. Every system has settled into its most efficient rhythm. Nothing overactive, nothing suppressed. Breathing flows naturally, effortless, barely there. The spaces between breaths feel long and safe. Nothing fills them, nothing interrupts them. Rain creates this safety by remaining unchanged, by offering no surprises, by staying exactly the same. The mind has no foothold here, no thoughts arise, no concerns. Even awareness itself feels distant, soft, fading. Dreams, if they exist, are not separate from rest. They are part of it. Gentle currents moving beneath sleep. Rain becomes the sensation of motion without direction, of flow without destination. There is no boundary between you and this motion, no line dividing listener and sound, only rest. The night feels infinite, not long, endless. There is no morning here, no approaching change, only darkness, only rain, only stillness. Your body remains deeply relaxed, every muscle quiet, every joint supported. The face is soft and peaceful, the mouth relaxed, the eyes completely still. The brain rests in its slowest patterns, memory quiet, thought absent. This is not emptiness, it is fullness without noise. Rain holds this state effortlessly, without intention, without effort. Nothing pulls you upward, nothing asks for attention. You are allowed to remain here as long as you like. The rain will continue, sleep will continue. Everything remains calm, everything remains safe, and rest holds you completely.